you know, then we can be the next Markiplier.
Oh God, don't. Shut your fucking mouth. And tell me where my goddamn skateboard is!
Markiplier is always the weird person that I always go like, man, he's such a nice guy, but boy, do I fucking hate watching his videos.
Yeah. Yes, that's actually the perfect way to describe it. I like him as a person, and I think he's cool. God damn, I cannot watch his content.
I've tried, like, multiple times.
Same.
Him and, Cinnamon Toast Ken is one that just fucking rubs me the wrong way.
I have not seen anything from him. Maybe I've seen one or two of his things, but I can't recall.
He's a weird one anyway, because, like, after he finally hit 1 million subs, the first thing he did was put up a video saying, making videos for you guys makes me upset. It makes my life... It makes my life sad. What?
Like, sincerely, or was it a joke?
No, it was sincere.
Ah.
He was, like, sort of crying about it and stuff, and I was like, I mean, if you're feeling this way, sure... But that seems like weirdly honest for what your average demographic is probably like 7 to like 13.
Yeah.
Like that would be like Markiplier or PewDiePie asking for help of his fans, and I'm like, dude, they're teenagers. A, why do they care? And B, that's some heavy shit you're putting on kids that wouldn't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. YouTube's weird.
Sure you make a video. Just make sure that you make a video in which you pay foreigners to write death to Jews and stuff.
And then
that's not bad because it's then not making you like $12 billion.
And then make a apology statement afterwards saying that you're a oh god, what did he say? He said something in a way that I was like, if you would at least rephrase that, it would hit me less bad. Where the fuck is this fucking hairbrush? I've been looking for this thing.
The fucking skateboard is the real question. And then he'll actually, and then also while you're trying to make your apology, also then reiterate that Jews control the media, which helps the sincerity of your comments.
Yes. Well, PewDiePie's been in a weird place where, like, he has been, like, really over it for, like, so long that I sort of assumed something like that was going to happen sooner or later.
I was hoping it would happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Just about as soon as I find my goddamn fucking skateboard,
oh, but the way he phrased it was something like, oh, you know, I'm just a struggling comedian who hasn't gotten off his feet yet. And I'm like, dude, you've been doing it for so long. How can you, like, really honestly try to say that you're, like, a comedian in training or whatever?
That's something that I just don't understand about a lot of YouTubers, and or I shouldn't say a lot, but a portion of YouTubers, and that they try to think of YouTube as, like, their starting ground before they really hit it big. Like, PewDiePie, Markiplier, even Spoony.
Well, yeah, Spoony. I didn't even know, like, the extent of that shit until, like, very recently, when I actually finally sat down and watched a ton of videos, like, explaining everything.
Yeah, same.
And, like, wow, some of that shit goes way deeper than I thought it would.
Depressingly deeper than you ever would have thought or wanted.
And it's like the worst case scenario where, like, he isn't even just gone, now he's just on Twitter all the time complaining about Trump and not making videos and not responding to anyone.
Yeah, it's really depressing.
And he still has that fucking Patreon going.
Yeah, I'm not sure who in their right fucking mind would actually give him money at the moment.
Well, at this point, I feel bad for anyone that is, because, like, it's people that probably just really want him to make more videos at some point.
And that's not going to happen, I feel.
Probably not, if I'm being honest.
And that sucks. We used to watch his content more than anyone else's, actually.
Well, out of any of them, it's really funny that, like, that Angry Joe exploded as much as he did. Considering, like, in its heyday, Spoony was easily my favorite of any of those, Channel Awesome people.
Same.
And, like, and things were feeling optimistic. He just started a thing for like, wasn't it like Final Fantasy 13? He made like a part 1 for, and he was like gearing up for that, and then everything just went like weirdly silent.
I want to say that he got through Final Fantasy 13 and started on 13-2.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, wow. And
so long ago. No.
And then so the funny part is I noticed when he started doing those weird live stream videos, and I didn't watch any of them because at the time I was just like, I'm not really into streams that much at that time because it was like 2014, 2015, something like that, and that was new to me, and I was like, I'm good. And I didn't know that they were so bad, and watching highlights of them and watching him literally just argue with the chat half the time and then banning anybody that was, like, correcting him.
Okay, I cannot find my...
I also cannot find anything. I love your character model, by the way. Like, oh, this is pretty good, too. Oh, I saw your tongue! Get your tongue out of my face! Where the fuck is this hairbrush? Are you starting to feel like the items just didn't spawn?
I mean, it's possible, I guess.
'Cause, like...
I mean, that's the one thing that's the one way this game could actually fuck up.
Because I'm gonna be real, if I had seen that skateboard, I would have told you where it was forever ago, but...
Where was it for you?
The skateboard?
Yeah.
I didn't have a skateboard the last time I looked.
God damn.
Where the fuck is any of this?
Let's just keep going and talking.
Yeah, let's... yeah, I'm actually kind of digging this. This is increasingly okay. So, let's see. Other depressing topics. Still not that interested in that Zelda DLC.
I was thinking about that as well.
Because, boy, like, that's part of that game's, I guess, problem with trying to sell DLC is that game feels like the most just self-contained experience of anything ever.
Yeah, I could be up for, like, new story content, and that's why I'm interested in whatever the second pack is. If you even want to call them packs, given that they can only be bought together. Jesus Christ.
Right.
But, yeah, the new, like, the new hard mode doesn't sound too tempting, just given how bullshit the main game is anyway with difficulty. The map feature sounds like it could be neat, just to give you a good idea of where you've been thus far, which can be useful. But I don't see it being worth $10 at the very least.
Yeah.
Optimistically speaking.
I know, right? Yeah. DLC is increasingly feeling like a hard thing to sell to people, considering at this point so many people have been conditioned to either buy it before the game even comes out or never fuck with it ever.
Oh god, did you see the DLC for that new Fire Emblem game?
Okay, so I don't know much about it, so you might need to, like, explain it to me.
Okay, so you know how that Fire Emblem game is actually just like...
It's like 3 games, isn't it?
I think it's just an older game that's being re-released and remastered and shit.
Okay.
But the DLC's Season Pass is like... Oh god, it's $45 when the game itself is $40. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's one way.
That's pretty good.
And it's just like, here, you get this, like, there's a number of individual DLCs that you can all buy separately if you want, and that in total is like $51.
Yeah?
All the individual packs are just like, hey, you get these 2 new maps and a new dungeon, or hey, you get to control this one character you couldn't in the main game.
In the main game. Huh.
So you're looking for a fucking hairbrush, right?
Yeah.
I think I might try to find your fucking thing for you.
Yeah, I've been looking around for a skateboard for like a while now.
We've been trying to find each other's.
Well, because I was thinking about it and I was like, well, a skateboard's gonna be way easier to spot than a fucking hairbrush. And apparently that is currently not the case. I think maybe this is the actual point of the game, is that randomly the item's not going to spawn, so all you have the option to do is just talk to the other player, and eventually they'll meet and need a drink.
And then eventually they'll actually work together and not get divorced.
The
Quitting the game is better.
love story of the century.
Okay, so let's actually just go together room by room and try to open everything.
Yes, yes. Okay, so
you're looking for a hairbrush, I need a skateboard.
okay.
And we'll find both items before we decide who wins.
Yeah, that actually, you know what? I'm 100% into that. Okay, so do we want to like survey the yard?
You look around the grass. I'm gonna try to look all throughout this outside area on like the patio and shit.
Sounds great. There's a box that's like sort of in the ground. These are actually some like pretty good like box models. I don't know if they like bought these or something, but like they look okay in comparison to like everything else.
They're really low res though.
Yeah.
They're like the boxes from like Mega Man 64.
It's actually like the same weird problem I'm having with Persona 5 in that like everything's so stylish, but like the polygons are very clearly made for a PS3 and not a modern console.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised the thing came out on PS3 at all.
Well, because that was their originally what they were shooting for. Like the whole reason it even came out on PS4 at all is I'm willing to bet Sony were like, you need to put this out on PS4, please. We will pay the money for porting it.
I would think that they would just like force them to put it on PS4 exclusively or something.
Well, Sony doesn't own Persona, right? Like it's a coincidence that they just happen to come out on Sony stuff, right?
I'm not sure if coincidence is the word. I'd be willing to bet that Sony pays for exclusivity or something, but
I guess, because I was thinking about it, and, like, I would actually love a Persona 5. Okay. God, what else were we even talking about?
Persona exclusivity.
Right. Cause like, to be honest, the more I keep thinking about it, the more I would actually love a Persona 5 Golden on the Switch or something.
Hmm.
And
yeah,
like,
something Jim Sterling actually kind of hinted at was that he really enjoyed the portability of Persona 4 Golden. And apparently due to trademarking and/or website domains that Alice has been making, there is a chance that a superior version of Persona 5 is in the works.
I mean, I would assume so.
That's a little disappointing to hear so soon after launch, but
I mean, that game has to have cost them like way more than the old games did.
Oh, certainly.
Because they went straight from like making games for the PS2 and PSP and the Vita to a game that like their average polygon count for their models is like 17,000, and the average one for Uncharted 4 was like 2 million. And they're like a 30-man team, so like there were bound to be growing pains regardless.
Word. Where's your hairbrush?
See, yeah, like...
are you being serious with Rise? Out of curiosity?
Yes.
Why?
Why not?
Because she's kind of an airhead and pretty flat in comparison to the other characters in that... Not even in that series, but in that game.
See, like, I don't know about that, to be honest, because, like, Chie's great, but, like...
She's pretty good.
Chie's pretty good. I like Chie a lot, but the problem is, like, because, like, think in context of when I played that game, I was in high school, so I was working under the context of what if I actually knew these people in school, and Chie hit me as the ultimate, like, girl I'd want to be friends with but never date.
Sure. I can see that.
And, like, the one that drove me the most nuts of any of them, besides, like, the horrible music room creature.
She was fine.
Fine? You think that is fine?
She's fine.
The literal joke for that is that you go to the drama room and you see the girl complaining about her dad, and then you peek in on the creature, and then you slowly close the door to the music room, and thou art I art thou. Fuck. The other one then. The one with the black hair.
Yukiko?
Yeah, Yukiko really, like, rubbed me the hardest the wrong way of any of them.
Why? She's the best one in that game.
She's the best one in that game. Why on earth is she the best one in that game?
Because she actually has a three-dimensional personality and, like, hopes and dreams, and also... excuse me. What's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. But... I guess I should say fears, but, she has an interesting arc to her in wanting to be the best that she can be, and wanting to be free and independent without getting dragged down by her life and her, like, lineage. But then also figuring out, hey, this place isn't so bad, and it actually has everything that I want. And so I'm gonna be independent while also still doing the thing. She probably has the best arc of any social link in that game.
See, I don't know. I found Yusuke's to be a lot more, like, satisfying in that way.
It's a sort of similar arc in that way, I guess.
It is. Actually, if anything, I would say that's a problem that 5 feels like it has a lot more than the other ones, is that it feels like a lot of their origin stories are extremely similar, which makes sense considering the theme they're going for, but...
Yeah.
Oh my god, if this was a Let's Bro video, we would have, like, ended it, like, like right there.
That's not Let's Bro. We'll never talk about Let's Bro ever again.
Oh, but I just brought all those videos over to the main channel.
Oh, fuck.
There's like a couple of them that are fucked, though, which is sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not that they're, like, unwatchable, it's that for whatever reason they uploaded as, like, 360p instead of the HD versions.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like 2 videos, though, but one of them I'm sad about because one of them is Mind Jack.
Oh.
And I think the other one might be the Kinect video.
Oh, god damn it.
I mean, it's still watchable, like, the audio's fine and everything, and you can see, but it does suck that they're not in HD.
Yeah.
I still say Persona 5's music just feels like more of 4.
I don't think that's a necessarily bad thing, and it's not as though any piece is, like, directly ripped from it or all that similar.
Sure, that's fine, and I'm not even saying it's bad music, I'm just saying, like, it really holds no, like, individuality in comparison. Like, the difference between 3 and 4, you're not going to confuse those soundtracks.
Certainly.
Because they are entirely different genres, whereas, like, 5, I kept waiting to switch genres or, like, have a bit more of a distinct personality, and it just kind of doesn't, and that's fine. 4's music's great, but... Oh, you did actually make it over the...
Yeah, you have to crouch.
Okay, yeah, that makes some amount of sense, I suppose. Koto sucks. She doesn't suck, I just don't like her very much.
It really comes down to personal preference at a certain point. I'm trying to think of the... Okay, how about we have this conversation as well. Objectively worst waifu.
Objectively worst.
And my pick goes for Yukari.
Well, okay, so are we including 3 in this? Because 3 has, like... What?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, well then the entire cast of Persona 3, then.
Oh. That's too easy, though.
Okay, oh god, what's her face?
I can probably name her.
She's, oh my god,
The one with the long red hair?
Well, I don't like her, but, I'm thinking, the one with the blue hair that, like, shows up a bit later in the game.
Fuka?
Yeah, the one that doesn't exist for a really long time, and then she shows up and she goes, "Oh!" at, like, everything.
I kind of like... Fuka is probably my favorite waifu for Persona 3. And she also happens to be the Priestess Arcana, which is weird.
Oh, right, you've always had a through line for Priestess, didn't you say?
Yeah.
Who's Priestess in 5? I forget.
Makoto.
Oh, right. For some reason, in my head, she's Empress, but that's mostly
that's
because...
exactly what I thought she was going to be, and I thought, oh man, I'm finally not going to have a Priestess waifu. And then I got a Priestess waifu. I actually just met the Empress Arcana not too long ago, and I'm interested to see... I don't have enough time for her social link, I think, for my current playthrough.
So, is she the one that requires maximum proficiency before you can start her link?
Makoto?
Yeah, no, the Empress one.
Oh, her?
Because I have been told there is a single one that you can't start without max proficiency.
Max proficiency?
Is that the video game weirdo that I have yet to see?
Maybe. I can't remember one that requires max efficiency. Makoto's social link kind of pissed me off because you need, like, max intelligence. Well, I'm not sure about your intelligence stat, but you need, like, max charm before you can finish it, which pissed me off.
I mean, man, so that's another thing I've noticed about 5 is, boy, they are not shy about, like, just putting in a bunch of stuff that you clearly cannot do until you do New Game Plus, because some of that stuff, you're just fucked, and you have to wait. Especially, getting, the shopkeeper dude.
Sojiro?
Yeah, is that his name? No, not boss. I'm talking about the airsoft market guy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, you're super fucked on him for your first playthrough.
Like, I'm guessing I can't... And, like, getting the social stats up felt super easy in 3 and 4 for, like, 2/3 of the way through the game, and I'm getting an increasingly stronger feeling that I'm not even going to get anything to 4 for at least another dungeon or 2.
Are you, like, doing them individually, or, like together, or...
I mean, I'm trying to do them...
On this fucking roof.
Well, like, if anything, it's, wow, that is... You are, like, sort of flying.
Sort of flying.
You're sort of flying.
Oh, man, you can see the end of the universe from up here.
Can you?
A little bit. You can, like, see the edge of our personal world.
Oh, man. And on to other worlds. Also, that's something I'll say about the second dungeon, the one with Madarame. Boy, his house is the lowest res JPEG I've ever seen in a modern video game.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, they did not intend for this to be on a PS4.
Like, those, like, image backgrounds that they use on occasion are kind of neat in a way, and some of them actually look okay, but they can also really fuck with your perspective and at times. Like, there's one character that I interacted with at the movie theater, and just because of how she was standing next to the protagonist, I thought she was, like, 2 feet shorter than she actually is. And
yeah.
It's really distressing to see.
Yeah, and like, with... There's so much, like, it's something that desperately makes me wish there was any possible way for Persona to come out on PC, because, like, there's so many, like... Everything is so aliased in, like, every direction that, like, it just makes me go, like, man, I really wish there was, like, any way I could have this on a PC and I could just, like, up the resolution of everything.
I think the one thing that upsets me more than anything else in that game, though, is the fucking pop-in of characters during social interactions.
Oh my god!
Like, you'll open up, like, a social link interaction at the movie theater, and then, like, it'll just be you and the person, and then, like, the rest of the entire population of Japan spawns in.
Yeah, dude, like, I don't even... And they're, like, those models are not, like, anything special. There's no reason they shouldn't be, like, loaded in before anything else.
Or, like, you could just have the scene take, like, an extra 2 seconds to load. And
considering how many loading screens there are in every direction anyway.
Yeah.
Also, did you notice that the game, like, sort of installs, but it, like, doesn't really install on the PS4?
I didn't notice that. Is that a thing?
Yeah, like, as I was waiting for, like, loading up the disc and then getting another, like, waiting to install whatever thing, and then that didn't happen, and I was like, oh, is it just running off the disc? And then I'm like, wait, would this stuff be running better if they had done something like that? Because, like, because they started work on this game so soon that there's, like, all kinds of PS4 compliance they wouldn't have to adhere to because the SDK on it is, like, long before they started enforcing any of that.
Huh. I hadn't thought about that, and I thought it did install, but maybe I.
Well, like it installs the second you put in the disc, but I'm talking about like the additional loading and installing from the disc that most modern PS4 games do that make it so, because you can physically hear the disc stop spinning at some point when you're playing like, I don't know, Titanfall or Doom or whatever, because they're running off the hard drive because the disc speed is not fast enough for loading what they need to load off the disc. Whereas Persona 5, as far as I've noticed, I think is just running off the disc, which is weird. So part of me is also wondering, because at that point, my first question is, well, wait, would a digital version of the game like load that stuff faster?
Maybe. Huh.
And I'm like, boy, that's dumb. That's last gen stuff that I completely stopped thinking about.
Like Assassin's Creed 5, I think.
So how many of those movies have you watched, by the way?
At the movie theater?
Yeah.
Or
have you watched the X Folders yet?
I did watch the X Folders. That was pretty good. I think nothing is still in my heart though, like Guy McVer.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That may be the best part of the video game.
I did like the Yakuza movie that you could watch. Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Because that was some actual lines from that movie that they redubbed with that translation team. And I thought that was pretty good. Let's see. Feels like there was something else like Persona related I was going to talk to you about, but I'm trying to remember.
DLC?
What?
The DLC costumes?
I mean, I've downloaded like most of those at this point. I don't know about you.
You bought them?
No, I didn't buy them. Haven't they all been free up to this point? I haven't seen any ones for sale.
There's a couple of free things that you can download, but most of the costumes are going to be for sale, like $7 or $6 a pop, and I think they're rolling out over the month or so, or something.
That's expensive.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. All the customization options you had in 4. Coming right after that, that's pretty disappointing.
Well, so that's the thing that I was also wondering about in terms of like monetizing a long-ass game like Persona that like sort of doesn't exist nowadays other than Persona itself. Like,
maybe like Final Fantasy or something.
Do you think they would sell like piecemeal expansions? Would you buy something like that?
I thought about that, and the only way that I could see it like even working in the game would be to either like tack on an extra month at the end. Complex. Like, no, like Persona 4 Golden did that.
Yeah, sure, but I was just thinking like seeing on the calendar month 13 and month 14.
Oh, yeah. Or like maybe the protagonist gets sick, like in the base game for like a week or like 2 weeks, and then the other side characters had a side adventure that you couldn't take part in the base game, but then you bought DLC and you got like medicine to stay healthy or some shit. There's ways to make it work. I'm not sure if it would be for the best though.
Or would you rather just buy a re-release of the game in like 4 years or something like that?
Probs, I guess. Have you even started her social link?
Kodos? Yes.
Ah.
And she seems fine. I like her. I liked when she got her persona. I like how fucked up getting a persona is in 5 in comparison. It feels like a great response to like the viralness of 3's persona summonings, and then like going, how can we make it more fucked up than that? Considering 4's was nothing, as far as I remember.
Yeah. I really like the Persona Awakenings.
And how it looks like you are just in an immense amount of physical pain, and then you tear off your own face.
And then the Personas go, no, this isn't about doing the right thing, it's about getting fucking revenge.
That actually felt weird, actually having my Persona talk to me at first, because then all of a sudden, like, the fusion animation thing that is also super, like, hey, how can we make this more fucked up?
Our third divorce.
Makoto or Becky, who is best wife?
Makoto or what?
Becky.
Becky? Oh, god damn it. When I saw that social link, I thought, oh, I don't know where this is going.
Oh, dude, I find that whole social link so fascinating. Because it feels like it's...
Don't tell me anything, because I've only gotten like 2 in, and I want to save that for my next playthrough.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It was really more like, the whole reason I went through that to begin with was I was like, I desperately want to see, like, where this one goes, because this one feels the most different of any of them. And it feels like it's skating this very specific line of possibly getting the game banned in certain countries. Oh, I will reiterate, though, I don't remember if I mentioned that I beat Nier Automata.
How was that?
Boy, that game is fucking something special.
I need to take a look at it.
That game... I would be terrified if I was, like, working for Giant Bomb and had to make a Game of the Year list, because it would literally be tied with, like, 4 other games.
Yeah, this year has been so weird.
And, like, so many... just heavy hitters in, like, every direction, half the time for, like, niche audiences or niche genres.
Yeah. And definitely, like, year of the fucking RPG.
Yeah. Christ. And then, like, Resident Evil came out and was totally different, but good.
Resident Evil was good. It was weird.
Have you played that yet?
I have not. I've been thinking about doing it, because it actually does look pretty scary, so I'm a little scared to do it, but... at the very least, I'll watch like a playthrough or something eventually.
I ended up watching through all of Two Best Friends Play's playthrough of it, and I thought that was pretty good. Especially when they went through all the DLC, too.
I forgot that they did that. I'll probably watch that.
Yeah, especially when they got to the fucking Jack's 50th birthday party or whatever. That one was pretty hilarious. And yeah, boy, like, and then there's a bunch of games that I haven't even had a chance to, like, touch yet, like, Neo, or, what's another one that I just haven't been able to, like, even look at? Feels like it came out recently. I forget. There's just so much stuff.
Word. Also, apparently the Xbox Scorpio is going to give you an FPS counter at the front of the system.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's an opinion piece. Then what you should do. Fuck me.
Oh, I also apparently misread that and thought that's what they were doing, because, like, I would feel bad for Digital Foundry because, like, I could hear them losing out on money, like, as they start just putting that stuff in the front end of a console.
Oh. Let me think.
I don't know, do you have any criticisms of Persona 5 from what you've played? Because you're way further than me, right? Like, you're at, like, didn't you say you were at dungeon, like, 6 or 7 or something?
Oh, God, let me actually think.
Well, what date are you at?
I'm on, like, the 1st of December, I think.
Okay, so you're at least at, like, the final act, then.
Yeah, I think I'll still have, like, at least one more dungeon after this if I want to get the super true fuck-off ending, which I assume is in place. I don't know for sure, but I would assume. But, yeah, I'm getting real near the end, and as I mentioned, I had the traditional, like, hour-and-a-half story dump on me.
What basically amounts to, like, 2 weeks worth of cutscenes.
Something to that effect. But, it was interesting.
This game feels way worse about that than, like, 3 or 4 ever did. Where, like, just randomly as you're doing things, all of a sudden, blank will come up, and then all of a sudden, like, an entire week goes by that you're locked into stuff.
I don't know, it's sort of... You know what, you get into the habit of it happening, like, as those timers run out. And everything.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess my only one complaint is that dungeons feel like they have a bit too much filler in them.
Which is weird, considering, like, the handcrafted nature you would think would alleviate that somewhat as opposed to the random ones.
I don't know. I could go either way in that debate, I guess. But, and aside from that, I think you could tone down the difficulty a bit, but also it's sort of my own decision to keep playing on normal. So you could also have that discussion either way, I guess.
That's probably my one thing, was that, like, the second I died in the middle of the second dungeon and lost 2 hours of progress was the second that I was like, okay, I need to crank this down to easy until at least New Game Plus or something.
Yeah.
Because, like, fuck, dude.
Sometimes you take advantage of the fact that you can just backtrack to a safe room. And that kind of sucks, but...
Yeah. Although, I do kind of appreciate, like, it... It's one of those things where when I noticed that, like, one of the main options of the easier difficulty is you can just restart from a fight, was something that I was almost debating if that should just be a toggle for, like, the main difficulty modes.
Yeah, I would like that to be on normal, because that would save me a lot of headache.
Well, yeah, because, like, at what point is it benefiting you on normal otherwise to have to just, like, go down 3 floors in Mementos or whatever it was, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Like, it's gonna take me a long while before I really get a final opinion on the thing, and I'll definitely need to see how it wraps up first. But
see, like, the true ending and all that.
Assuming that there is one. But yeah, I'm enjoying this so far and everything.
Do you like it more than 4?
That I won't even begin to be able to really analyze for like another month, and after I do a second playthrough, which will probably be a couple of months down the road. But so far, if we're gonna put a gun to my head, I would say no. But again, that will take time.
Fair enough.
What about you?
Boy, yeah, it's really hard because, like, the presentation of this one feels so much more inclusive and so much more anime than the other ones were originally intending to be. Like,
what do you mean?
Well, even just, like, things that are very clearly intentional, like how all the Arcana characters, all the side characters and everything fall into these very specific, like, anime tropes, whereas, like, I don't feel like everyone in 4 did.
Maybe.
What? Like, what's a good example? There's a person's face in my head from 4, and I'm trying to recall their name.
Just grab the social link.
Fuck. It's, oh my god.
The old lady, the mother,
the not the nurse. It was one of the part-time jobs, though. Oh my god. You sure it wasn't the mother who was at the daycare? It might have been that one. Maybe it was that one. I don't know. 4 is a whole, like, I don't know, how do I put that? It sort of feels like 4 felt a lot more, like, earnest in its presentation. It felt bold in that, like, the first 2 or 3 hours of that game, you were basically going through story and nothing else. Like, yeah. It felt very confident in what it was doing, whereas, like, 5 almost feels paranoid sometimes that it's going to lose your attention. Considering, like, for the longest time, I keep jumping forward to Makoto's sister or whatever, every time I get a new social link, just to be like, this is what the current plot is. Remember, this is all a flashback building to a thing. Yeah, that's part starting to get a little old for me. Also that. And, like, boy, the more and deeper I get in that game, the more I keep skipping the public thoughts, whatever, overview thing. Mm. After the story dump, they do something kind of interesting with that, a bit, but, Oh, you mean, like, wait, do you mean, like, after I catch up to, like, the modern day again? Yeah. Is that halfway through the game? Because I've had a suspicion that that's halfway through the game. No, it's not halfway. It's the story dump. At, like, the 80 to 85% marker. Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wait, so something actually comes of that at some point? Yeah, and you do catch up to the modern day. Well, I knew that part. I just didn't. I was really worried that those things where it's just look at what all these people are thinking. Like, I was honestly worried nothing was ever going to come of that, and I was like, boy, that seems like a real waste.
Well, it doesn't like change hugely, but they do a slight twist on that after the story dump, and it's kind of neat.
Okay, well,
it's light, and you probably won't care for it enough, but I thought I looked at it and went, oh, that's kind of cool.
Okay. I'll at least keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
What hour mark are you at?
What?
What's your hour mark?
I'm at like 84, I think.
84? Really?
Yeah.
Wow, because like the average time I was getting on like how long to beat was like 100 hours.
I don't know. I'd be willing to bet that I'd hit something close to that. Maybe like 95 or something.
Okay. Well, you did also like abandon some social links because you wanted something for New Game Plus that you weren't going to finish, right?
Well, it wasn't that I was abandoning them necessarily. It's just that I was prioritizing ensuring that I got all my social stats up, so I wouldn't have to bother with that stuff at all next time around, and so that I could prepare in various ways, like training in my room or something.
So, does that mean you don't have Star, then?
What do you mean?
The Star Arcana?
I'm trying to remember who the Star Arcana is.
The Shogi player?
I have not started her.
Oh, fuck, dude. You need to at least get her first one.
No.
Dude!
No. Shut up.
It's a really important mechanic!
No, I'm good. I'll wait.
You're gonna fucking kick yourself the second you get that fucking thing.
I probably will, and it'll be really funny.
So you know what's... so I did finally remember one thing that I did want to talk about that I completely forgot about.
Yeah.
Igor's voice change.
Yeah.
So, I figured out one thing that would have made me, like, be marginally less bothered by it.
Huh?
If they had done some sort of aesthetic change to him. Considering his entire... Well, because, like, considering his role in this game feels very different to the other ones anyway. Like, this Igor feels a lot more involved than the other Igors ever were to the plot.
I don't know.
Or at least, like, more, like, directly involved with you than, like, someone who just happened to be there.
Debatably, he's more involved in your sort of velvet room, given that he's your prison master, massive air quotes, but
yeah, so I was thinking, like, what if they had given him a mask? Would have been a pretty simple change. Considering masks are an aesthetic choice for, like, all the partners that I've seen thus far, so... I don't know if they literally all have masks, but... But yeah, I just think, like, a small aesthetic change would have at least bothered my brain less.
Yeah, I can see where you're going.
Or maybe a younger Igor, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he could alter his appearance somehow.
Yeah. Wow, we've been talking about Persona for, like, a really long while.
We're gonna need to talk a lot more once we both actually finish it.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll have another waifu argument again.
We will. You haven't decided your actual official waifu yet, right?
No, I don't actually know what triggers that or not. Is it still just getting it to 9 and then past that, or is it
so far all of them have been triggered on rank 9.
Okay. Because I was worried they would get triggered before that, so I've been paranoid about it.
I was sort of disappointed in that. I really feel as though it should trigger sooner.
Or at least you should be able to, like, get a specific item and give it to them to trigger it sooner.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, keep me posted on who you choose and how the rest of the game goes.